narration parallel to everyone, scarable or scale mountain, terrible or let's open. You are the renovation of love's imagination. I came, come. Clear the voice, fine volume, fine volume. Save the presidency from the president, please save the presidency from the president, please save the presidency from manifest destiny. Save the presidency from the president, please. Save the presidency from the president, please. Save the presidency from the president, please. For our democracy. Save the presidency from the president, please. 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 Beweave against weaving deceit. Be management that mentions, so management happens. Beneath sated, be need made it. Be management today manifested. Be nature, the democracy with ape. We are imagination apes. What is the dream to shape? Make the goal escape. Imagination we'd create today. Save the presidency for our democracy. Save the presidency from this president, please be free. We must free us from tyranny. Save the presidency from white supremacy. Save the presidency from white male supremacy. Save the presidency from white male supremacy. Save the presidency from white male supremacy. Healthy is healthy, cancerless is cancer-free. Be nature of liberty. Liberty is free. From breeds disease. We need to be safe, or we'll never have a nation that waves, but in vain. To legalize predation. Let's be humane today. Is the day emancipate. Radio Science Brain, enunciate the germane, the new saying. You are the renovation of love's imagination. Imagination may become one because you all came today. Pretend that came can come, pretend that come just came to play. In your shape, you're the main line of imagination aid. Coming from all gray matter, arrange this at nature's play. Be not prey to predator, instead be play today. Be not prey to predator today, might may you be play. Imagination may be game to play. Save the presidency from manifest destiny. Save the presidency, be free. Indeed, save the presidency from the president, please. Be nature, be free. Humanity, humanity. This is the mindless made life free. Emancipate, create, emancipate, love. Need is sacred, need is defeated. Let rule with greed, emancipate, trade today. Emancipate, create the mind. May begin to play today. If you are saved, if you are saved, be humane. Radio Science Brain, Radio Science Brain. Save the presidency from the president, please. Save the presidency from the president, please. Save the presidency from the president, please. Save the presidency from this man's atrocities. Beway, we be free. Beway, we wax from wane. Humanity, save the presidency from manifest destiny. We are none of us enemy, but all of us have an enemy in white male supremacy. Save the presidency from 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 white male supremacy. In nature, be free, be humanity, humane, germane, be germane, really, be named, radio science brain, emissary to all tributaries, beware, we can break wax from Wayne today. Save the presidency, emancipate from his greed, be nature, humanity. Save the presidency from the president, please. Be nature, humane. Radio science brain, radio science brain, radio science brain, radio science break. Achilles and emancipate. What does the word itself create? Emancipate, what is the word itself create? What is that greatest check say its rate? We are the minus mate, we are the sign elate, we are the science minds levitate. Science minds levitate, we are the mind elate. Radio science brain elate. Scarcity myth ending cause of what your brain brings. Remain the agent of change. Clear out the drain. Drain the swamp, found the Darth Vader, sucking its extractive hooper, scooper. You're sucking out humans in stupor. No more will we be sucked brains. Remain the agent of change. Radio science, your remains rejuvenate today. Remain, reconstitute, be sanguinate. Mine may be nature, rain, matter, crayon, splatter, germane activation from brain matter, substrate, substation. Agent of change, the This is the mind is caving. Imagine it's waving always. Not caving or out, but within. This is the mind is saving. Imagine love waving mission, not wave, but always. Radio science, brain love may be game to play. Gold escape. Make the gold escape, maybe nature today. You create it, you may be game. Do not be prey, be game to play. You are the main line of imagination. Radio science brain. Executive function is your terrain. Imagination. Imagination, imagination, imagination may help us sense the drain. This is the mind is saying, imagine us weighing the weight that matter has a unit for we measure matter more. This is the kind of staking might claim. Save the presidency from the president's pain. Save the presidency from the president's brain. Save the presidency from the president, please. Save the presidency from the president, please. Save the presidency from the president, please. From manifest destiny, from white male supremacy. It's easy, it's easy, it's easy to see. Be nature now, be aid, really. Save the presidency from manifest destiny. Became today. Be named radio science brain, a missive to your brain from the nature our aims to aid. Radio science brain, what is germane anyways? What is the mission of our brain? Remain the agent of change. Radio science brain. Radio science brain. Remain perpendicular trains, parallel against hate, parallel against pain. Liaise this, imagine it, chaos, bliss, myth, real kiss. It is a drift, emancipate to this Radio science brain remains. Save the presidency from the president's pain, from his abdication of love's communication. Save the presidency from the president, please. Make us safe from tyranny. Be named with the free. Emancipate, emancipate, be free. Save the presidency from the president, please. Be woven, be free. Well, 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 well. We stand for a spell. We stand for a time. Do we stand for the time? Do we tend a spell? Do we pretend towards something else? Are we standing for the spell during which we stand? Can we stand this spell? What do we want to dispel? If we stand for a spell, is this a spelling bee? Might we be the spell that we want to stand? And do we not at some point have to make an audible, legible ripple if we recognize that we have been disconnected from actual audience? Then what's the place between here and impact that is safe and perfectly delivered? Because we have an employee who is trying to hurt us. And that's a problem. That's a serious problem. And we deserve safety. We deserve not to be menaced by someone who serves at our pleasure. We deserved to have that 4 years ago. We deserved that 4 months ago. We have not yet been leveled with by the person who told us he was coming back or else, and is now terrorizing us. A coup that allows a wealthy Nazi to peruse through Social Security and poke his fingers around the inside of the Treasury is completely out of control. We don't have any excuse to at least awake some of us. Some of us should wake from the slumber. We're not supposed to submit to tyranny. We're not supposed to submit to Nazis. And seeing wanton theft being dangled over flames, will we or will we not be singed or burned? Will we or won't we fall off into the chasm? None of this happens without incredible antagonism. We're experiencing things that don't happen unless there's war, unless there is a major aggressor, unless there is a pandemic, unless there is a stalker, unless there is a public menace known by a name, unless the Boston Strangler has not been caught, unless Two-Face is out there somewhere, or maybe in fact the Joker got free. Could it be, in fact, that maybe we are dealing with the falsehood? I think we have a true instance. I think we have land-on contact with someone who is working to trump everything, who cannot be given a scepter that is grand and decimating enough, who cannot defile enough people to at final moment just be at rest and retire and let someone else abuse people. We have someone who will never stop breaking whatever palace he creates. We are not safe. We made the wrong choice with the wrong ingredient and the wrong recipe. We have Three Stooges syndrome, and we missed an easy chance to let it go and begin the process of healing. But on the bright side, our plan to let them show themselves has worked. Our plan to let Nazis feel safe to reveal themselves and try to spring a trap that they think will work has worked. It was a dark and terrible and risky plan. And I can't believe how many people we got on board, wittingly and unwittingly, to help us open the eye of a needle big enough so that people with expensive chemicals thought that they could get them through. But the plan has worked. We have successfully trapped a bunch of people in a delusion that they are safe at the White House, when in fact they have implicated themselves in an attempt to take over the United States with the Confederacy. So we have options, but they do require courage. They require follow-through, and they require someone who can say no to someone who wants to do harm and is good at giving people a sense that there's another way out. It's preferable to holding the falsehood accountable. Who has donned the falsehood? Who is good at lying? Who makes us believe that they are good to us? Who we later find has been a victim of another strike by the falsehood. No, I didn't say that. That was the falsehood. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the falsehood has struck again. The falsehood leaves their calling card everywhere, with some more than others, but none of us are safe. The falsehood shows up in the mirror every day. Who is the falsehood? Is it possible that we have created space for this? Is it possible that we create space for it every day? Is it possible that we are taking an invitation to have permission to look away? Wouldn't it be wonderful to have permission to look away and to not have to know? It would be so wonderful to just be able to not see. That does seem like rather a sad story, though. Do we really want to not see? Isn't a lack of sight kind of sad? Isn't a lack of care to know what's happening to others, that they're safe, that they could reach out? Isn't that very, very sad? Isn't that very, very unsafe? Isn't it unsafe to give false report? Wouldn't it be unsafe if we told our students there's a wolf, but didn't give them the tools to deal with a wolf? Wouldn't it be safe to tell our students the truth in stage and age appropriate ways? Isn't it unsafe to lie to our children about the dangers that exist in the world? Isn't it criminal and child abuse to fail to tell our children about hazards we've created that exist around some corners? Wouldn't that be criminal and predatory? Wouldn't it be strange and diabolical to not tell our children about diseases we're passing on? Wouldn't it be malicious? Wouldn't it be the work of Jeffrey Dahmer to create traps? Wouldn't it be devastating and something that George Orwell warned us about? To snap a word like indoctrination against its meaning? To tell students you're limiting to a narrow bandwidth of information without the critical thinking skills to interrogate that information? Wouldn't it be deeply sick to claim you're fighting indoctrination as you indoctrinate them into the Ku Klux Klan? Wouldn't that be national, systemic racism and bigotry and child abuse? Aren't we seeing a White House where the person in charge of policy is a known Nazi, infiltrating the minds and childhood of children everywhere with the fingers of the Gestapo? Isn't this havoc? Isn't this what we stop? Because we can't really undo the damage. We can never undo it. We can heal things. But damage done to minds doesn't necessarily know how to find itself or what the damage is. We can't undo it. We may be able to heal it. but we cannot undo it. We should not be risking or courting or in any way allowing this child abuse, this indoctrination, this hiding of basic fact. Because for all of its protest, it is simply meant to create more young sex slaves for white, cis, straight bigots. It is only meant to create wealth for white, racist, powerful criminals to enslave people. It's just a cycle of re-entrenching the same corrupt lies and crime. It's helpful to this machine, it's helpful to this matrix to keep the lie going that taking apart whiteness is bad for white people, that taking apart white supremacy and critiquing it is bad for white people. It's good to mention at this part that I'm white, but that if we look at our actual color, we all contain some amount of melanin. We're all in a spectrum of human color. Personally, I'm light beige, sort of palm colored. But it's a shade somewhere within human family. And even if I somehow were actually porcelain white, we're dealing with the DNA of humanity that is across a spectrum. Even if we do find someone who is perfectly black or perfectly white, which we won't, it's simply happenstance of numerical occurrence upon a spectrum that we are all part of. We all have all of the symptoms. We can see that basic equality is being attacked and ruptured by MAGA. All of the lines of lineage run from MAGA directly to their military wing, the Ku Klux Klan. We're dealing with terrorists. We're dealing with Nazis. We're dealing with people who are true believers or willing to work with, willing to collaborate, and the potentially hegemonic force of people who would rather not know and not see and not have to deal with potentially being a resistance. And the more of us who are awake and recognize that being told to not be woke, to not be aware, to be aware of who it is that's telling us that, and ask the question, why would anyone tell us not to be awake and not to be sensitive to one another's needs? Why anyone would echo Hitler's phrasing of Jewish world plague with woke mind virus, and simply play out the same script with that four-syllable blorch of accusation. We're dealing with people openly lynch mobbing, more and more openly. Having one of those people have an endless sleepover full of threats, and now his fingers in the treasury. We actually have to arrest this. if there's not a line at which America can stop tyranny, we need to create it. Otherwise, who does that? Is it not incumbent upon the Secret Service to protect the presidency if it is indeed unsafe? If the presidency is threatened by the person who was given the presidency, then what happens? Because it hasn't. It hasn't happened in, 8 or 9 years. It hasn't happened. We haven't seen that. We haven't seen the presidency protected with basic care. It's truly abominable. It's not the only place we see negligence like this that's entirely against basic common sense. If we want to speak about common sense, then the things that must be protected are cared for, and we protect them, and we talk about it if something's wrong. And this is substrate. This threatens every life in America, and because of how we are part of stewarding habitat, it threatens human life. We shouldn't put ourselves in the position of apologizing to ourselves and our children. We will not be able to apologize enough. We get to be one footstep, or we get to be the lack of that step. This is really the time when your eyes open, or when you realize, I'm awake, can I face the day? I suggest you hear bum ba ba bum bum ba bum bum ba ba bum bum ba bum 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 ba ba bum bum 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 ba bum. Because we are the allies. We are the allies. We can make more of us. We can save more people. But we are the allies. We need to assume that the people who need us don't even know that we're coming. We need to assume that if we carefully, diligently, calmly make it there in time, we'll be there when we're needed. We'll be there with bandages, or books, or chili, or chess, or we'll be there to photograph everything. But we might need to assume that people don't even know we're coming to help. But then we get to say Yahoo and show up unexpected. But don't try to be silent. If there are ways to let people know, if there are ways to show that the resilience that we call the resistance exists, it may not be in a place so corrupt as this. But if it doesn't glow somewhere, is it anywhere? How do we assure that we're building trust that there's something being built somewhere. If we don't have trust anywhere, we won't build new things. We built a city because we believed it was safe amongst ourselves to build a city. We have a dinner party because we believe that we're safe to do so. Trust is a substrate where anything can start to happen. And amidst such chaos and such fomenting of an idea that lying is smart, it may seem like we should squirrel trust away. Like if somebody says we're not going to have a fairness doctrine, that we should all work to be as unfair as possible. But maybe in the fog of hokum, clarity and forthright communication stand out. Maybe people who are not adhering to clickbait stand out. Maybe people who have balanced conversations and also sort out false equivalencies. Those things stand out. That people with intelligence and integrity stand out like the sun at midnight would stand out, because we need them. Because they don't just stand out from difference. We're devastated and we're hungry and we need actual fact. We need truth. We need people ready to level with us so our scales both measure the same weight. When something's going wrong, someone coming in with a tone and manner that says, I will tell you I'm the authority to be listened to. I think we can see the lack of leadership. I think we can see poor leadership. I think we can see antagonism. I think we can see difference between a lack of care and antagonism, between brashness and telling it like it is, and incisively and intuitively seeking out things that defile people. We're dealing with very, very violent, mean people being allowed to torture people. And there's a heavy contingent of people enjoying, or at least at one point, maybe it will change now, who knows? Maybe with such clear, obvious mass ill intent, it will change. But it seems like a lot of people voted for Donald Trump because they liked the idea that he would do harm to people they wanted to see harmed. Maybe there are a lot of people who, regardless, are going to be driven by, if there are promises out there of we'll harm the people you want harmed, that they'll be voting with that in mind. As an incentive, like, I get to see these people punished if the person who I vote for wins. Maybe that maybe that's just always going to be a thing. Do we want people who openly promulgate that? Do we want people who are openly criminal, who openly attack elections? As surprising as it is, we, I guess, weren't ready to just have an actual boundary to stop people who would try to deny elections. Like, if you want to participate in the race, you can't try to throw people off at the beginning. You can't have a false starting gun. You can't say, wait, like, if you want to participate, we actually go through the process together, like with an experiment where there are controls or a control. We have some way to keep an empirical approach, letting us know what happens and how, and along a measure that's fair. We want to know what happened. We actually want the outcome to be just. It's not supposed to be war at peacetime speed. But that's what we're experiencing. We're waking up in war, in peacetime garb. It's insidious, but like being poisoned and not realizing we're being poisoned, and having conversations with the person who is poisoning us, and expressing all kinds of doubts about how we're feeling, and maybe, and why do you say that way? Why do you say that way? Not sort of thinking to just look the strange obvious in the face. But the strange obvious is both of those things, and they don't really cancel each other out. The strange and the obvious can both be real and coincide. And the strange obvious is that we are occupied by Nazis. And we need to be at least vigilant enough to be aware that that is happening, is not safe. And the level of what kind of rot is already taking place. Because if it's mentionable, it's manageable. And because Stephen Miller is trying to make it not mentionable, the level of proposed censorship or incrimination via association of assembly or of being known to have certain views or associations with people, these are the kinds of concerns. They shouldn't be. But we're seeing true wrenching and twisting that affects everybody. Well, who knows what happens when people are subjected daily, on a daily basis, to levels we've never seen before. What happens when, at levels we've never seen before, people are at levels we've never seen before, at levels we've never seen before. I guess we'll see. It feels like breakdown is the aim. It seems like we're dealing with sabotage. If we're dealing with someone who will not hear no, I'll keep you in suspense is not. It's not a healthy thing. It's not a thing we want to hear. It's not a thing we want to be dealing with. We shouldn't accept, I'll keep you in suspense. I'll keep you in suspense. Is something Hannibal Lecter would say. He's not joking with us. He thinks we're a sucker. He thinks that we're a big sucker because we're listening to him tell us that he is Hannibal Lecter. We listen to him cackle that that's who he is. And we're not doing anything about it. He told us he will keep us in suspense. And he cuts off communication and lets a nightmare poke his fingers in the treasury. We need to remove someone who would keep us in suspense. Tyranny no. I'll keep you in suspense. No. No. I think we need to say no. I think we need to say no. We didn't start it perfectly, but this country was begun to evade and rid ourselves of tyranny, and we did, at least to an extent. We should make good on that. We should definitely make good on that. The new Colossus. Stephen Miller lied to us about Emma Lazarus. The new Colossus was written to raise funds for a pedestal that would hold the Statue of Liberty. She wrote the poem a few years before to raise money for this pedestal. And Stephen Miller made a speech some years ago trying to defile the meaning of the poem or say that it wasn't really so connected to the statue that it was added years later, which is just false. Being applied, mounted on site, is different from its intent and its inception. And really, we only hear a tiny part of it. We only hear a tiny part of the poem. And it's not even all that long. And it's actually quite powerful, quite meaningful. We know a tiny part of it. I nearly know it by heart, but I want to make sure that I have it before me to read it, just in case. I just don't want to pause. So, because some people in France thought it was magnificent that we had achieved emancipation and wanted to show some kind of gratitude to Lincoln and a sense of fraternity with America, they wanted to send essentially a celebration of emancipation. And Emma Lazarus wrote the New Colossus because this was to be a colossus, one of a small group of colossi that were around the world that they were adding a magnificent new membership, part of the membership to. So this is the poem that is on the Statue of Liberty at the base, I believe at the pedestal, and was written before the pedestal was constructed. Was written in order to raise funds for building the pedestal, because it wouldn't be delivered without some place to hold it and hold it up. So this is the New Colossus by Emma Lazarus. Actually, better than that. Well, I can bring up the visual too. But this is it. The New Colossus by Emma Lazarus. Not like the brazen giant of Greek fame, with conquering limbs astride from land to land. Here, at our sea-washed sunset gates, shall stand a mighty woman with a torch, whose flame is the imprisoned lightning, and her name, Mother of Exiles. From her beacon hand glows worldwide welcome. Her mild eyes command the air-bridged harbor that twin cities frame. Keep, ancient lands, your storied pomp, cries she with silent lips. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Stephen Miller was wrong on many counts. This was expressly written for liberty, for this Statue of Liberty, and a celebration of having reached emancipation. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. He began chipping away at that. I fear the safety of the Statue of Liberty. I fear the safety of liberty. I fear the safety of all of us. And it's all one. We can just about make liberty turn to shore and sing, or nearly have that effect, if we do find ways to come together. If we do use our technology, our individual genius, each of us. Trump didn't really do anything so incredible except having a lack of empathy or a lack of conscience. He didn't really invent anything. He just was willing to do terrible things and say awful things, impossible wrongs, into a global megaphone. It's horrendous, but it also shows that sight of what's possible can lead to immense change if someone is only able to see something and willing to withstand trying it. In this case, we've been an incredible victim of somebody who is unbuckled from the fear of their devastation. But Trump's not afraid of that. He likes that. I think he's not even really that worried about being embarrassed. Eventually, it just turns him into the Hulk. We actually have to stop these people. We can't try to embarrass them. We ultimately just have to stop them. And the more peacefully, the better. But we don't have any choice but to stop them. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're aware you are in an abusive relationship. Shocking boundary violations are one common grooming tactic of a narcissist or dark triad personality. If someone in your life points into a camera knowing you'll be looking at the view screen and pulls their finger like a trigger, looking into your eyes, saying, I could shoot someone in the street and not lose anyone, it is a good indicator of a bad situation. You are in an abusive relationship. Who has leveraged and climbed upon a fog of falsehood? Who has donned the falsehood? Who is the falsehood. Sets the fear of separation.